So I'm sure everybody knows how powerful the Bisted monsters are, but I don't think everybody necessarily knows how powerful Magnamut really is against the Ishizu tier mirror match. Personally, I've lost 2 mirror matches at YCS Pasadena, and I can tell you that the common denominator of both of my losses was just getting hit by Bisted monsters in general, especially Magnamut. I also lost both dice rolls and bricked both games I went first, but that's another story for another day. It's borderline impossible to keep up with your opponent after getting hit by a Bisted monster on your only line of play, especially if your opponent generates a free body on the field and searches a card that basically does the same thing on the end phase. And so think about it, alright? Let's just say that your only play is normal summon Reno Heart, use the effect, send a tier, and then trigger its effect, and you get stopped by a Bisted Magnamut. Even if you have 2 other interruptions and a trigger of a tier monster on your opponent's turn, it might still not be enough. So let's just say you trigger a Tailorman's effect on your opponent's turn after that, and then your opponent stops it with Druid Worm. Your opponent now has 2 level 6 monsters on the field, so he's gonna go Beatrice, use the effect to try to send the Solic, and then you might go like, I don't know, negated with Imperm or Solic or whatever, and then your opponent now has an Xyz monster on the field, so you can go Battle Phase attack and then make a Zeus, and then bait another interruption, and then he still has 5 other cards in hand and still didn't use his normal summon. All of that with 1 single card. That is absolutely absurd. To think that a hand trap can not only stop your opponent completely, but on top of that get your engine started and make Zeus is unheard of. Even if your opponent has Imudora or Keldo to shuffle back the tier that you're trying to banish with the Magnamut, he's still a loser. Your opponent's tier still gets banished, and then the Mudora or Keldo gets used up, so you have 1 less scary card to worry about, and on top of that, you keep the Magnamut in hand to use it on your own turn. Bruv, come on. And the card doesn't really send itself to the graveyard as a call, so Call by the Grave doesn't handle the Bisted monsters, so only Herald of Orange Light really takes care of it. Oh, and by the way, not to mention that Sprite players can probably abuse Magnamut the most out of everyone. They can banish their own blue or jet from the graveyard by summoning the Magnamut and then use its effect to get the Druid Worm on end phase, and then I think you can already see where this is going. They're gonna go Gigantic Splice, summon the Swafrog, and then bounce back the Magnamut. So 1 single Magnamut leads to double hand traps for your opponent's turn. So a very simple combo ends on Toad, Elf, Magnamut, and Druid Worm. How unfair. But yeah, if you're tired of losing to Ishizu tier elements every single time, just main deck 3 Magnamut as well as anywhere between 1 to 6 copies of Druid Worm and or Saronir, preferably Druid Worm over Saronir is better, and I think you should be relatively more fine than before at least. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.